Hey everybody, it's Ramon again with Bowl Like a Leopard. Like I said in the past video, it's been a rough week for me, but there are certain things that keep me motivated to keep going in life. And one of them is, like some of you would know, given my project, which is ongoing, it's not going away, the Hillary and Bill Clinton Presidential Penitentiary Library, which hasn't had a video for a few weeks now, but trust me, there's going to be more videos as soon as I do a few other things that are, more current events and priority. But I can assure you that the project will probably keep going for a while if Hillary Clinton keeps behaving the way that she is. And there's going to be more books. There's going to be more Ramon talking about the books and being an asshole to these Clinton fans who have, I'm actually pointing at a neighbor who is a Clinton supporter. She's next door. She's actually a nice lady. So I'm not talking to you, ma'am. I'm not going to use her name. But, this project could go on forever. Who knows? They might invent some sort of cryogenic process to preserve Hillary Clinton just so she can keep running for election and keep losing and being a pathetic example for all of America's women. But today, what she did as her next step was effectively another campaign speech, even though, as everybody knows, she's just been a pathetic loser at every step of the way. Now, let me just say this. There are certain points in the speech, especially closer to the beginning, which I watched earlier today. I think that she did a legitimately good job. And this is a commencement speech. It's at her alma mater, Wellesley College. But I want you to pay attention, okay? First of all, I'm not going to be the only person coughing in this video. So that's going to be a first. Second of all, there's the issue of a few recurring themes that are going to crop up here. Some recurring themes are going to be obvious, and some recurring themes are going to be obvious in their omission. So without further ado, let's play this video.
Now, you may have heard that things didn't exactly
Salute,
go the way
I'm
I
drinking
planned.
Mexican beer, by the way.
But you know what? I'm doing okay.
And as part of the resistance, I'm buying Mexican beer.
I've gotten to spend time with my family, especially my amazing grandchildren. I was going to give the entire commencement speech about them, but was talked out of it. Long walks in the woods. Organizing my closets, right? I won't lie, Chardonnay helped a little too.
So this is a little refreshing. This is Hillary Clinton being a little self-deprecating and, owning up to some of the funny stories that there have been about her in the past few months. And to be honest with you, I think it's healthy for somebody to do that. I think it's a good thing. And excuse me, I can't say the word healthy without coughing like some sort of asbestos victim. Yes, it's good for Hillary Clinton to show this side of her. The unfortunate truth is, though, that as much as she's able to use these panned lines of humor, the rest of her speeches are typically just platitudes and nonsense, and there could be some of that here.
But here's what helped most of all. Remembering who I am, where I come from, and what I believe. And that is what Wellesley means to me. This college gave me so much. It launched me on a life of service and provided friends that I still treasure. So wherever your life takes you, I hope that Wellesley serves as that kind of touchstone for you.
So I do like this. This is why I'm saying, it's her alma mater. I think it's absolutely fair that they should invite Hillary Clinton, who's possibly the most famous Wellesley alumnus in history. So I have no problem with her speaking at this commencement, and I just would expect that everybody should have the right to speak at a commencement. We shouldn't have different different standards for different people. I think Mike Pence should have been able to give the commencement at Notre Dame without a bunch of idiots throwing a bitch fit. So anyway, let's see the next important segment. So in this stage, she decides to talk about her own commencement address, I think from the year 1969. So here we go. This is where it kind of starts to go off the rails. And it's, by the way, it's 2 minutes and 12 seconds into this commencement speech.
Oblivious to all of that, because what my friends had asked me to do was to talk about our worries and about our ability and responsibility to do something about them. Government, authority figures, or really anyone over 30, in large part
Okay, in this part, she's kind of starting to sound the note of the hippie generation, which I have to say it's really in funny taste that she's one of the older candidates in the recent memory to run for election. I mean, of course, there's John McCain. Donald Trump is older than her too. You have, I think she's older than Mitt Romney was. She has no right to talk about how the youth are, going to determine the future, because obviously she's old as hell and she's still peddling the same bullshit.
Thanks to years of heavy casualties and dishonest official statements about Vietnam, and deep differences over civil rights and poverty here at home, we were asking urgent questions about whether women, people of color, religious minorities, immigrants would ever be treated with dignity and respect. And by the way, we were furious about the past presidential election of a man whose presidency would eventually end in disgrace with his impeachment for obstruction of justice.
That's fake news on the part of Hillary Clinton, and she should know better, because she was involved in Watergate investigation by the House. And she knows full well that Nixon resigned. He was not impeached. Okay, there's a clear distinction. Unlike her husband, who was impeached. Hold on, I'll bring the figures. Okay, 5 Democrats, voted for some of the articles of impeachment. Okay, so he was impeached by the House. He was not impeached and removed from office by the Senate. That's why Democrats should kind of read about the way our government works, because impeachment is not that easy. But the closest person to get impeached from office was not Donald Trump, it wasn't Richard Nixon. It was 2 people. It was Andrew Jackson, the guy who succeeded Lincoln, and Bill Clinton. So let's hear the rest of her bullshit.
After firing the person running the investigation into him at the Department of Justice.
Another point of order. Her husband fired the head of the FBI after her lawyer committed suicide, supposedly. Okay, let's not forget that her lawyer supposedly committed suicide in a park he'd never been to the day before Bill Clinton fired the head of the FBI during the Whitewater investigation. So let's talk about irony here.
want you to know we got through that tumultuous time. And once again, we began to thrive as our society changed laws and opened the circle of opportunity and rights wider and wider for more Americans. We revved up the engines of innovation and imagination. We turned back a tide of intolerance and embraced inclusion. The we who did those things were more than those in power who wanted to change course. It was millions of ordinary citizens, especially young people, who voted, marched, and organized. Now, of course, today has some important differences. The advance of technology, the impact of the internet, our fragmented media landscape make it easier than ever to splinter ourselves into echo chambers.
So she says that with virtually no irony, that she herself has been the beneficiary of these echo chambers. She's not calling for people to... later in the address, she talks about fake news. Okay, let's jump to the next important segment. This is what she means by echo chambers.
We can shut out contrary voices, avoid ever questioning our basic assumptions. Extreme views are given powerful microphones. Leaders willing to exploit fear and skepticism have tools at their disposal that were unimaginable when I graduated.
Oh, the irony. She's trying to talk about Donald Trump, but who gave them those powers? Who gave them those powers? I believe that would be the Congress that gave it to your former boss, Barack Obama. Here she goes with her crying about the fake news.
Just log on to social media for 10 seconds. It will hit you right in the face. People denying science, concocting elaborate, hurtful conspiracy theories about child abuse rings operating out of pizza parlors, drumming up rampant fear about undocumented immigrants, Muslims, minorities, the poor, turning neighbor against neighbor and sowing division at a time when we desperately need unity.
So that's, again, the irony here, okay? Sowing division. She's talking about also Pizzagate, which, to be fair, nobody ever really investigated. It's funny that when the Democrats spin massive conspiracies about, Russia and leaks and hacking and spies, we're supposed to take everything seriously and there has to be an investigation and nothing can move forward, while other things that pertain to her, like the Seth Rich investigation, like Pizzagate, which, to be fair, I think Pizzagate has just as strong of a case as the Trump-Russia investigation. They're both just as strong of a case, which means, I really don't believe the Trump-Russia allegations, but the Pizzagate stuff, nobody's even gone. A proper investigation has never even started. So how can she claim that it's fake news?
Some are even denying things we see with our own eyes.
And one further note, she's talking about dividing the country. Talk about somebody who called her opponent's supporters a basket of deplorables and called the supporters of Bernie Sanders kids who live in their parents' basements and are whining about their low prospects. That's dividing the country, okay? Don't talk to everybody else. You're the person who divided this country, Hillary Clinton. You're the person. Does anybody really think that this is a uniter? Yes, she unites people against Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is the great uniter of people against Hillary Clinton.
Like the size of crowds. and then defending themselves by talking about, quote unquote, alternative facts. But this is serious business. Look at the budget that was just proposed in Washington. It is an attack of unimaginable cruelty on the most vulnerable among us, the youngest, the oldest, the poorest, and hardworking people who need a little help to gain or hang on to a decent middle-class life.
Okay, so I'm gonna break after this, but break to the next clip. But here, Hillary Clinton ignores the fact that she's been a supporter of upholding and improving, so to speak, the awful policy known as Obamacare, which has ruined the lives of many middle-class people. They can't afford their health care anymore. It's not the Affordable Health Care, it's not the Affordable Care Act anymore. It's the Affordable Scam Act. Okay, it's a complete perversion of everything that Barack Obama promised, and she's sworn to uphold it if she becomes elected president, which of course now she hasn't. But bear that in mind while she's attacking Donald Trump for attacking the middle class. The middle class is not supposed to be cashing in on government benefits. That's supposed to be for the people who are below the middle class on the income scale. Okay?
Maybe a little more or less for some of you. This means I've got to get a lozenge. Thank you. I told the trustees I was sitting with, after hearing Tala's speech, I didn't think I could get through it.
That was part of the speech that was cut off from the main clip, where she has another coughing fit. And that's really something that, the Clintons do their best to have people ignore or not have people see it. Look, Hillary Clinton is a sick person in many ways, including her own health. I just wanted to put that in there while we were going through this. Okay? And without further ado, here is her take on the next generation.
Right now, some of you might wonder, well, why am I telling you all this? You don't own a cable news network. You don't control the Facebook algorithm. You aren't a member of Congress yet.
Okay, what she's basically doing is saying that she wants them to become the next generation of Hillarys, the next generation of whiny bitches that go off and talk only about themselves. And this is where I'm going to talk about common themes in the video. Common themes in the video. Hillary Clinton talking about herself. Okay? Hillary Clinton talking about all the wrong things people did to her and how everybody's out to get her and how the news is unfair to her and people read the fake news even though she can't get along with the quote-unquote real news, and she blames them too. And, how many more things can she go through that we've already been hearing about everywhere else? This is supposed to be a commencement speech, and she started it off very well. And the people at Wellesley, and by the way, I only know one person who ever went to Wellesley, very fine-looking young lady, and it is an all-women's school, by the way. I think I believe it's still an all-girls private college. It was once the top private school for women in the United States. I think that today it's got like competition from Vassar and all those other ones, but it was an elite private school, and she's speaking before these women, and they're clapping her and whatever, and they're giving her these ovations because that's her public. It's these privileged women that, they've had the benefit of having stable families. They've had the benefit of having a middle to upper class upbringing. She's not speaking to the blue collar Americans even today. If you keep talking like this, Hillary, why should anybody listen to you? Because you're only preaching to your own choir. And that's what I wanted to illustrate, that this is somebody, the most divisive presidential candidate in the history of politics. Okay, I don't care about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a result of Hillary Clinton. So don't come to me talking about how Donald Trump is more divisive than her. If Bernie Sanders would have been the Democratic nominee, it's very likely that this race would have been much, much different. It's possible that he would have won. I'm not going to say that he would have. It's certainly, I believe, more possible than with Hillary. Okay, I believe that even though he was a weaker candidate in the primaries, because we're talking about the corrupt Democratic Party, in the larger public, he is simply a better candidate. There's nothing you can take away from that, besides, maybe that he's an old whiny bastard. But the other theme that she keeps striking is how, that these people should be disgruntled with the way their country has turned out. You want to know something? This country has turned out the way it is, Hillary Clinton, because of you. Okay, the results of your time in office as Hillary Clinton's Secretary of State are this. The results of your terms in office as a senator doing virtually nothing are this. The results of you covering up for your husband's awful crimes and his lack of honesty and his abuses of power is this. This is all because of you. You can't come here and tell people to resist the status quo when you created the status quo. And that's what I'm talking up until now about, the themes that she hit on and the themes that she did not hit on. The themes that she did not hit on. That's what I'm really mad about. What she did not hit on are these two things. What she did not talk about was the Manchester terror attack caused by the same policies enacted worldwide that she's enacted in the United States, ignoring the problem of Islamic terrorism worldwide. Okay? What she didn't talk about is the 35 men, women, and children murdered today in Egypt. Christian citizens of Egypt, the oldest Christian community in the world. These young people, these old people going on a pilgrimage. She didn't say a single word about that. It's all about her. It's only about Hillary. It's only about what people did wrong against her. It's only wrong when something goes against her. And I'm tired of it. We need to readdress our priorities. The Egyptian Coptic community needs an advocate in America, okay? and she's not going to be it. She's an advocate for one person, that is Hillary Clinton, as serving the purposes of Hillary Clinton. That's who she's in favor of. And anybody else is not even fit. It doesn't even merit even a blurb in her commencement speech for a privileged, rich women's college in Massachusetts. And that's what I think about this speech. And if this is Hillary 2020, then bring it on. I'm willing to keep doing this again and again. Again and again. I'll stay active. I'll do whatever I can to see it happen again and watch her get egg on her face again for doing the same garbage over and over again. And, how many times can she try to fool people and nobody's buying it? That's it. Have a great weekend. This is Ramon with Bold Like a Leopard. Rate this video, like it, give me some comments, and subscribe. It's Bold Like a Leopard. And, I'm bringing the Clinton cough back with every single video.